Hi, my name is Nina McCune. I am an assistant professor of history at Baton Rouge Community College. I will demonstrate for you how I prepared a class for online delivery using Canvas. And I'll show you using the demonstration of my African American history class. I prepared this and taught this over the summer. This is the front page of the course, and I decided to make it graphically engaging. I used a Bearden collage, and below the image, the part of the screen that you cannot see, I have included a credit for the artwork. The artwork, however, I manipulated somewhat, and I made some buttons for students to engage in. A Start Here button where students can go for a list of commonly asked questions, a syllabus, the modules of the course, and resources to help students get started. And I actually designed the course using a working backwards philosophy. I started with the outcomes. Every course has a set of course level learning outcomes, or every course has a set of general education learning outcomes, or they have a combination of the two. This course in particular only has course level learning outcomes, and it has three. I entered them into Canvas. The first is comprehending a primary source. Students have to demonstrate a knowledge of African American history, and students have to be able to locate and retrieve historical data as appropriate to the course material. Once I entered these outcomes into Canvas, I thought about what type of engaging activities I could create for students to use so that they could achieve these outcomes throughout the entire semester. So for example, I have a series of Find a Primary Source projects. These assignments ask students to use the internet, to cite sources, to use the library, and so on in order to retrieve primary sources. They then post their assignments onto Canvas, and you'll see there's a number of different types of topics that they are engaged in. They also have a Comprehend a Primary Source project that I call Comment on a Primary Source. All of these activities offer a variety of different types of Bloom's taxonomy, if you will. They engage students in a number of ways, asking for analysis or reflection or summary of a primary source on a germane topic to the study of the course. But what's important about all of these assignments and activities is, again, I offer an array, a variety throughout the entire course so that students have multiple points at which they can demonstrate their achievement of the course level learning outcomes. Next, I thought about the timeline of all of these activities, and I thought about the larger whole of teaching online. And I've included that in the course syllabus. This syllabus is different than the automatic syllabus that Canvas provides. The syllabus that Canvas catalogs for you automatically really truly only is a list of assignments. And that can be helpful for students, but students also need a little bit more guidance. In my syllabus, which is a standalone page, it was designed as a page that was added, I have three discrete elements. I have Part 1, a course description, objectives, and required text. Part 2, course evaluation and policies, and Part 3, the course calendar. Each of these three discrete sections contains valuable information to help students get started in the course and to be mindful of what type of policies and what type of behavior I expect from them online. And of course, the course calendar details what assignment, what quiz, what discussion forum is due when. In this syllabus, I make clear what my communication policy is. I make clear my grading criteria and my grading breakdown, as well as a brief discussion of rubrics. In the introduction to the course, I also have a page of how do I earn points? How will I be graded? And in this page, I go into further detail of what types of assignments there are at the beginning of the term, throughout the course of the term, and at the end of the term. I also include links for the multiple rubrics that I use to grade student work. So for example, there's a discussion forum rubric, a find a primary source rubric, and so on. These are all pages within Canvas that I created that elaborate what the rubrics are. So for example, in the discussion forum rubric, I have multiple elements that students are evaluated on, but two of them, you'll note, are my course outcomes. Demonstration of understanding a primary source, demonstrating knowledge of African American history, so that my outcomes are not only measured in discrete assignments, for example, the Find a Primary Source assignment, but they're also housed in larger course rubrics. And these rubrics don't go away after a student has looked through their introduction to the course. These rubrics live essentially underneath every assignment, or they live in a pop-up feature that students can automatically call up a rubric that is attached to a certain assignment. This is an example of a discussion forum that you can pull up to see what the rubric details are for this particular discussion forum. To get started in the course, I message students through Canvas an introduction letter like this. This was for an American history course that I delivered then in the fall 2015 term. You'll notice there's a number of hyperlinked items, and those are, for example, tips on how to access Canvas or information on the BRCC website that students might need to know at the beginning of the term. There's also a link then for the Baton Rouge Community College bookstore, so students can go in and get their materials before coming to class. I also give a brief breakdown of what the different buttons are. For example, what is the Start Here button, what's the syllabus button, and so on and so on. And I encourage students to get in touch with me with any questions that they may have. Throughout the course then, I use the navigation system within Canvas to deliver the materials I want students to see. I provide a consistent design from chapter to chapter, in this case, so that students have a rhythm that they go through. So for example, in Unit 2, in Chapter 7, I introduce a student to a primary source. I offer a video that may be helpful or relevant, but always optional for their viewing. I have another primary source, and then there is some type of an assignment or a discussion forum, practice quizzes, actual quizzes, and so on and so on. And I use this kind of systematic, consistent formatting so that students don't have any surprises during the course. Overall, I try to stress clear communication and clear course design with my students, and I truly believe that working backwards, starting with outcomes first, is one of the best ways to strengthen any online course. Thanks for watching.